Cup race. The Harley Davidsons are out there, and go over to our commentators for this one. It is James Whittam, and he is alongside Larry Carter.
So after 6 of the 9 races for the Harley Davidson XR 1200 sees the Yorkshire rider Dion Compton heading the table ahead of the local rider here to Brands Hatch, Jimmy Webb. Peter Ward there in 3rd position, Torquil Patterson, Rob McNeely, Alex Galt, Gary Byrne, Gordon Grigger, Jonathan Harrison and Doug Cowie in the top 10. Alistair Hutchinson, Tillotson Hardwick, Adam Griffin, James Hurrell, Boner and Moore are the only other point scorers here in the XR 1200. Well, we've seen some cracking racing all year long, and it's going to continue here at Brands Hatch because in pole position it is the local rider Jimmy Webb under number 66 ahead of Dion Compton, championship leader. Then we've got Peter Ward and Rob McNeely rounding out the front row of the grid. Second row sees Torquil Patterson alongside Doug Cowie, Alex Hutchinson and Gary Byrne, another local rider to Brands Hatch, Jonathan Harrison ahead of Jordan Boner, Michael Neves, the journalist, and Gordon Grigger. The final row of the grid will see James Wainwright ahead of Joe Moore, Adam Griffin and Alex Galt way down the grid in 16th position. Well, we've seen some cracking racing in the XR 1200s all season long, and James Whittam alongside me. Expect more of the same this time, I guess, James.
Absolutely, yeah. These things not just exactly like your traditional sports bikes, a little bit heavier, a little bit less power, big bars, big load of noise. I've actually had one of these things on the road as a stock road bike. You feel cool in them. They do make a beautiful noise. I had a race system on mine, and it's weird. You can make a lot of noise without offending people. It actually is quite a nice noise to listen to. But I have to say, a little bit more difficult to get round a race circuit. I've actually done some testing on one of these things, and yeah, they're not the easiest thing to ride.
Look at Jimmy Webb on the right-hand side of the screen. He's angling down. Yeah. He's angling down in towards the right-hander at Paddock Hill Bend. Alongside him, number 4, Dion Compton. Peter Pesky Ward is there, and look at that Webby. He's got it sussed out there. He goes through the gears as they hang in towards the right-hander. It looks as though Dion Compton
slots into second, yeah.
It gets a little bit tight down there.
Yep.
What a tight angle that was from Jimmy Webb as they head up towards Druids for this first time. But Dion Compton goes underneath him. That looks to be...
And then goes off the track. He needs a ticket to get back in from there, Larry.
Any wider than that, that's to pay to get back in, wouldn't they, with that one? That's handed the initiative to James Webb at the front. So all a little bit fraught there as they head through Graham Hill Bend and on to the bottom straight in towards the left-hander of Surtees. And that looks as though it's Peter Ward that's making a move.
Yep.
Towards it, and this is going to be interesting down this long rear straight. See if they take the hands off of the bars and just hold on to the forks as they head down up to around about 120 miles an hour as they go on the drop in towards Hawthorne Bend.
Big old boy, pesky Pete Ward, but that's just what you need to muscle one of these Harley Davidsons around here.
And what about Alex Galt? Keep your eye on him, number 17.
From the back row.
From very last on the grid, he's there in 5th position. That's him there just going through with the black and white fairing as the rest of the field stream through.
If I get Dion Compton to the front again, number 4, the Huddersfield boy, lives just down the road from me actually. I've got a story about him. If we get a chance, if the racing slacks off a bit, I've got a brilliant story.
I'm sure we'll be able to tell that one. But there's Alex Galt there, just in the middle of your picture now, as he goes through from the back row of the grid in 3/4 of a lap. He's gone from P16 on the grid up to 5th position. Potential race winner for this one, but Compton's away with it as he goes in towards Clearways. Peter Ward in there in 2nd position. Jimmy Webb on the orange bike in 3rd position, and Alex Galt now with them just behind a fellow Scotsman, Torquil Patterson.
Yeah, and what happened to Alex Galt? Because why has he had lots of issues in practice or what?
Yeah, I think he had 1 or 2 problems during the course of practice. Remember that they did have a race on the Indy circuit earlier on in the weekend for the Harley Davidsons, and as a result, the net result was that was a victory for Jimmy Webb ahead of Dion Compton with Peter Ward in that 3rd position, and they'll be looking to repeat that one. But all the time, it's your mate up front. Dion Compton, championship leader, got a 6-point championship lead now, and Jimmy Webb on his local track knows he needs to start pulling back because if anything, Compton's just starting to gap them a little bit.
And that's the thing, you know, when it's a championship, Dion Compton's results not just as impressive as James Webb's. James Webb's had 3 wins, Dion Compton just the 1, but a lot more consistent has Dion Compton been. That's what's given him the lead in this championship.
Well, these quartet behind them, if they start tripping each other up, then Compton will just be able to make good his escape, and 3 abreast as they go in. Patterson round the outside. Well, what a move that was from the veteran Scotsman. Torquil Patterson lives very close to the Knockhill circuit, suffered an injury in the opening round this season, and Patterson there, number 31. That was a brave move.
It was, yeah, and you can already see there's a little bit less room into the corners when they're elbow to elbow than there is with a normal kind of sports bike, the big handlebars, your elbows are sticking out.
And Jimmy Webb did not like that one iota, because he's been bumped back into 4th position, just behind the Scotsman Patterson. He's now the Englishman in the Scottish sandwich, because Alex Gold is in there, and also the former British supermoto rider Rob McNeely had a big crash at Oulton Park. Alex Gold has a look on the inside.
A lot of smoke. I don't know what that was about. There's a lot of smoke puffing out of the back of, I think, number 31, Torquil Patterson's bike.
Well, was it smoke? Did he
lock it up? I don't know.
Clip the tyre. If anything, it looks like he's perhaps not got the drive out of that, because Jimmy Webb has come past him. Was that significant? Just keep our eye on that one. As you rightly spotted, James, there was something. Whether or not he just, was it the fairing one?
I don't know. It's either something coming out of the exhaust smoke, or it could be tyre smoke if you lock the rear end up going into clearways. I don't know.
Well, either way, it didn't do him any good, because he's relinquished that 3rd position to James Webb, and he's now coming under very close scrutiny of Alex Gold in that 4th position.
I've got a feeling there's something wrong with that number 31, the bike of Patterson. That's the one that's smoking. He's losing places all the time. Yeah, that's Alex Gold under him now, number 17. I think there's a problem there for that bike we're just looking at now.
Well, we've got to keep our eye on that one, because Peter Ward has now taken over the initiative at the front. Pesky Peter Ward, the BSB's lookalike, he's now going through the gears as Dion Compton now he levels with him, goes out of the slipstream underneath 130 miles an hour. Can he do it? No, he can't on this occasion.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's nothing wrong with the speed of that Harley Davidson of number 4 bike of Dion Compton. And apparently this is his own bike. There's been a bit of shenanigans. Harley Davidson leads, I think, no longer trading, I don't think. This is what Dion's telling me. And so this is his bike. It's a very kind of hastily put together deal. And it's not the Harley Davidson leads bike that it was in previous rounds.
Pretty tight at the top of the championship. Compton leads by 6 points ahead of Peter Ward in that 3rd position, so all still to play for, because we've only got a couple of rounds left after this one at Cadwell Park. It is coming down to crunch time, but Peter Ward knows he's got to make good at the front, as Alex Gold now ahead of Torquil Patterson. And tend to share your view on that one. It looks as though Patterson is going backwards. We'll check his lap time on that one. It's a 39.5. It's not disgracing himself, because Crompton was a 140 on that one. So if anything, the quickest man on track that time was Alex Gold, as we conjectured. The number 17 machine in that 4th position. Patterson there, number 31, with the Scottish Saltire crash helmet on in 5th position, and Rob McNeely with the orange crash helmet towards the back, number 10. He's there in that 6th position. This is proper Harley Davidson racing.
It is. Nobody's getting away.
Well, Peter Ward, he's got the advantage. That's Compton, the championship leader, Jimmy Webb, and there's Alex Gold, number 17. Torquil Patterson there. No apparent...
No, it's going... it hasn't expired, which we thought it might. You can see the rider, number 66 there, particularly James Webb, taking his left hand off the clutch and then putting it on the fork leg, just to get a little bit less wind resistance.
Yeah, well, what Compton did there was he adjusted something on the left-hand clip-on. Not too sure what it was, but as a result, he's gone back a couple of places. Whether or not he was adjusting the clutch or whatever...
I think it must have been the clutch, because I don't think they have brake adjusters. Sometimes on the left-hand handlebar, obviously the throttle hand is the right hand, which means you're busy all the time with the right hand. So any adjustment needs doing, on the superbikes, you're changing maps, you're changing kind of traction control settings, etc., or adjusting the front brake, all done with the left hand. That's the redundant hand on the straights. I don't know what Dion Compton was doing there, but it's cost him time for sure.
Yeah, well, he's gone from 1st to 4th in just a couple of laps. But Peter Ward there, Jimmy Webb there, the 2 former British Championship racers are away at the front in that 3rd position. It looks to be Alex Gold now up to 3rd, the Scotsman, as they come across the line. And there we go. Here we go. Look, Crompton just adjusting something.
He's on the right-hand side. He's adjusting the brake. That's what he's doing. He's adjusting how far out the lever bites. And I think he's found that the front lever's coming, the front brake lever is coming in to the twist grip on the handlebar, and that was costing him time, because surely that was adjusting the front brake.
Fastest man on track, that one is the guy in 2nd place in the orange leathers, number 66, and that is Jimmy Webb, and he knows that he needs to maximise the amount of points. Pesky Pete Ward there, number 32, has got the lead, but Jimmy Webb, number 66, he knows that he's got to try and maximise this, because as we say, there's only a couple of rounds at Cadwell Park to go after this one, James.
Yeah, apart from Dion Compton, James Webb pretty much has been the quickest man. What's cost him is the fact, he DNF'd at Ulton, and that is what gave Dion Compton the lead in the championship. But it is very close, like you say.
Well, 6 bikes there, just covered by 2 seconds, but the leading duo are now just starting to make a little bit of a break there. The number 32, last season racing in British Superbikes, Peter Ward. He is one of the factory riders for Triumph. That's his daytime job. Jimmy Webb in second position. His younger brother, Danny Webb, races in the 125 GP.
And he's here today. Here somewhere, we've seen him a lot smaller than James. Danny's typical 125 stature little guy, although he has grown a little bit lately, but James a lot bigger.
Peter Ward up front now, 5 laps completed after 10. This will be to complete lap number 6 after 10. That little bump as they go off of the old circuit. That's where the Indy circuit joins.
That's right, yeah. You're going over the camber, as it were.
The little bit of it just unsettles these big 1200 Harley Davidsons, and Compton now has got his eyes on that final podium place as Webb has a look on the inside, and can he make it stick?
He does.
He's got to try and anchor up now, not run wide.
He's got it stopped. That's all right, that's clean as a whistle, that, Larry.
And that's good enough pass. Now Peter Ward. He's a wily old fox, is Peter Ward. He will have seen that.
I like the way he said Ben Speeds look like, because he is. Yeah. He's a kind of little bit fatter version of Ben Speeds.
I got taken to task by somebody saying, what are you saying about Ben Speeds look alike? He looks nothing like him.
He does.
But we do maintain that when he gets the sunglasses on, Peter Ward does look like...
he has. He's a kind of a chubbier version. I don't mean he's chubby. I mean he's just a bit rounder in the face than Ben Speeds.
And he doesn't speak with a quite Texan accent because he's from the Midlands, I guess, or something like that. But Jimmy Webb from just down the road at Tunbridge Wells. This is his local track, but Peter Ward now just dips out of the slipstream. He goes the long way around it, thinks more of it. No, he can't do it on this occasion. But these two now, again, this is the situation when we get in towards the second half of the race. Is exhaust was vibrating a little bit on Peter Ward's bike there.
Don't worry about it, Larry. That is, I know I've fitted one of these race exhausts, these thermic systems, and I can tell you that they fit on big kind of flexible metal. To stop them cracking, you let them flex, and that's all it is. That's a little bit of flexing. That's nothing to worry about. Watch this, he'll drop off next corner.
Well, Webby's got 3 or 4 bike lengths now on Peter Ward, and Peter Ward, if he's not careful, will be coming under the very close auspices of Alex Gold and championship leader Dion Compton. If it stays like this, Compton will not lead the championship going into the final 2 races at Cadwell Park, and he knows that, but he's got 4 laps to do something about it. Can he do it? He's a little bit further back than what he wants to be, and Webby, James Webb, is now standing up the ante. He was half a second quicker that lap than Peter Ward, but quicker than them was Gold on that lap. So if anything, he started to pull them back in towards Druids they go once again, and Gold is significantly closer. He has bridged that gap.
Absolutely, yeah. Once he's got a bit of fresh air, he's putting some laps in, and he's sneaking up to the back wheel of number 32, Pete Ward.
2/3 race distance completed here at Brands Hatch, and Jimmy Webb away at the front. Peter Ward is there in that second position, throws the anchors out as they go through the deceptively uphill left-hander of Surtees onto the Grand Prix circuit, and Jimmy Webb just starts to build the speed there. It seems as though the leading duo just a little bit quick around the Indy circuit.
He does.
Oh, we've got a problem there.
Yeah, is that Dion Compton or is that Alex Gold?
It looks like, would it be the blue crash helmet of Torquil Patterson? Let's just see who it was.
There's Alex Gold. It wasn't Dion Compton. It was Dion Compton. He's the one that's missing.
Well, whether or not that problem that he was trying to do, the terminal is trying to adjust something with the left hand, and that is a disaster for Dion Compton. That's the championship lead, and one's got to wonder, James,
if it's the championship? I've got a big feeling that is the championship for Dion Compton. I hope it isn't. He's a good lad, the Huddersfield boy, but that's going to take some getting back from with just 2 rounds to go.
Well, he did enjoy a 6-point lead over the guy that was leading this race. I say was because Peter Ward has just gone underneath him. This is a proper gloves-off duo, this too. Jimmy Webb and Peter Ward as they come in towards complete this. He looks behind him to Jimmy Webb. That is to complete lap number 7, and he's got less than 0.05 of a second advantage this time around.
Yep, 2 laps left at the end of this one, and I tell you what, I think James Webb looking back there, the guy number 66, orange leathers, orange bike, and I think he knows, he's making sure that nobody's close enough to behind to kind of mug him while he's waiting to launch an attack on number 32 there, Pete Ward. I think James Webb has a little bit in hand here. That's my prediction, Larry.
Well, fastest lap of the race went that lap to Peter Ward at a 38.850, so he has expressed his intentions on that one as the tall Midlander, but the guy from just down the road at Tunbridge Wells, he's got other ideas about it, and this is where he tends to build speed. Now, they've effectively dealt with the threat from Alex Gold.
I think they have, and that's what James Webb was checking on. The last thing you want is to be lining somebody up, coming up with a cunning plan that's going to work, and then you just get mugged from behind and your plan goes out the window.
That was the battle for 6 between 77 Hutchinson and 33 Doug Cowie. Gary Byrne in there, Peter Ward. He just defends his line as he goes through the right-hander of Westfield in towards what used to be called Dingle Delshinker. This is a brave move by Webb on the inside.
It's not going to work there, you know yourself, laddie, you've been there. That's a brave move if it works there.
But he showed him his wheel, and he's unsettling Peter Ward. He won't be ruffled. He's the Dark Knight, he's Captain Cool, he's Peter Ward.
Dark Knight? Where are you getting this stuff?
He doesn't come out very often, does it, Peter Ward? Doesn't like the daylight. The dark visor comes in towards Clearways for this, the penultimate time to start lap number 9. Well, Peter Ward, he knows he's got a race on his hand. Peter Ward, who took the victory at Knock Hill.
Here we go, laddie.
Jimmy Webb on the look on the inside. He's got to make it stick this time, does he?
Doesn't, no.
To his any later on the brakes there, and well, I don't know what Peter Ward would be thinking. He might runs a little bit wide onto the rumble strip, and if anything, that just gives Jimmy Webb that little bit of an incentive. He knows he's putting him under pressure.
And that's the thing, that's what you've got to do. You know, you've been there yourself, you show the rider your wheel, you harry him, you go up one side, you have a go up the other, you keep him off balance, and hopefully you push him into a mistake, and you make the pass that you are planning easier than what it should be.
Well, Peter Ward, he will be looking to his pit boards. Jimmy Webb having a look on the inside at Surtees. Well, these are dress rehearsals. Surely this is for the final lap. And Jimmy Webb will be finding out exactly where Peter Ward is weak, where he's strong. Alex Gold in a safe third position, just ahead of Torquil Patterson, Rob McNeely, Alex Hutchinson, Doug Cowie.
Oh, that's somebody off.
To see who the rider was that tipped off down there. That's the 33 of Dougie Cowie. Dougie Cowie, another one of the Scotsmen's gone down.
Dropped out of 7th.
Didn't really want to do that.
He didn't. Well, meanwhile,
but
James Webb's in front.
He's managed to, whilst we were looking at that unfortunate incident with Doug Cowie, Jimmy Webb has managed to just nip ahead now. He's got to make good his escape now, and he's doing that.
Yeah, I think he is capable of doing that, laddie. You could see earlier on it just looked easier for Webb to stay behind Ward than the other way around.
Jimmy Webb, who took the victory in the opening round in those wet conditions at Thruxton. He took victory at Snetterton. He took victory earlier on this weekend at Brands Hatch, a triple victor. He's looking for not only his 4th victory, but with it will come the championship lead, and that is exactly what he needs going into a one hand off the handlebars as they come through Clearways to start their final lap. As we get a replay on this one.
Do it? Oh, this is it. This was a pass, obviously.
Well, he went past
down the straight, really. He must have got a really good drive out of Surtees.
And that would have demoralised Peter Ward as they go through Paddock Hill Bend. And Ward knows that there's not that many options on the Grand Prix circuit here at Brands Hatch. This is one of them. Drew's Corner. He's not going to do anything. The next one,
difficult, really difficult, laddie, the next one.
Not close enough.
No, he's not close enough, and that is a proper lunge. That is a last lap move. We're on the last lap, but it just wasn't close enough. Into Surtees, again, difficult. The way he's up the inside, but then it's getting it stopped is your problem.
And now I think what he's going to do is
get a drive out of here.
Get a drive out of here. He's got to box this corner off, get the power on. He keeps it tight there. If anything, that wasn't the line for Peter Ward.
Absolutely, you're dead right. He's on the inside, didn't drop it wide mid-corner and cut it back to a late apex, and that's cost him time.
He's dropped the slipstream as well. That was one place at the end of the straight where Jimmy Webb put the move on Peter Ward the lap previous. He's not going to be able to do it. Time is running short now. There's one potential left-hander of Sterling's, and I don't think he's close enough.
He's not close enough. I was so impressed with you knowing that he'd done the wrong line coming out of Surtees. The old magic's still there, laddie.
It sounds like I know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I wouldn't go as far as saying that. But Jimmy Webb, I think on this occasion, Peter Ward, he's a thinking man's racer, is Peter Ward. He knows that second position is better than no points at all. He's got a safe second over Alex Gold. Discretion is the better part of valour on this one, and barring a mistake by Jimmy Webb, it's going to be victory number 4 of the season.
And they all know it. They're all looking back. They're all safe in their positions.
Well, Jimmy Webb, he just defended that a little way. He was half expecting it, but he will know that Peter Ward is a little bit further back. Peter Ward is going to take second position, but it's got to be win number 4 for James Webb as he comes across the line. A superb victory for Jimmy Webb on the Blade Motorsport Harley Davidson, ahead of Peter Ward, who takes the Stratstone Racing BMW into second position. Alex Gold, great from the back row of the grid to take third, and this is the battle for
sixth, I think.
Alex Hutchinson, Michael Neves and big Gary Byrne.
Where's Neves there, the MCN writer?
He's there in the middle of it.
There he is. Good ride from Neves. I've got to say, they take some getting used to these bikes. He doesn't ride them all the time. This is a good ride from Neves.
Yeah, and likewise, once again for Great Ormond Street Hospital and Gary Byrne, who takes 6th position on, takes 8th position on that one. 6th to Alex Hutchinson, 7th to Nevesy, and 8th to Gaza Byrne. Well, what? They say they'll leave the best till last. Oh, what a cracking race that
good
was
race
for the... and nice to see that Alex Gold congratulating him, and from the back row of the grid to find out exactly, get up there onto the podium. That is all he could do. But Jimmy Webb, then maximum points here at Brands Hatch for his 4th victory of the season, just ahead of Peter Ward, who just do some provisional maths, probably will move into 2nd position in the championship. Yes, he will. Then Alex Gold ahead of fellow Scotsman Torquil Patterson, Rob McNeely and Alex Hutchinson, the top 6. Well, he's happy enough with that one, is Jimmy Webb, and he then goes into the final 2 rounds at Cadwell Park over the August bank holiday weekend with that championship lead.
Yeah, you've got to feel a little bit sorry for Dion Compton. Didn't do much wrong. Whatever problem it was fairly terminal, and he knew that straight away. Pulled to the side and essentially saw his championship lead evaporate, and that's it's never a good position to be in.
It was the only rider in the championship to have scored in every round today. That demographic has now gone, so unfortunately the time he most needed it, Dion Compton.
Demographic? What?
Imported that word.
You can explain that after to me, Larry.
Don't know what it means. Somebody just told me about it. But Dion Compton, then, that was unfortunate for him to go out with the retirement. It looked as though it was some sort of...
Dion Compton, you want to see him. He's good at racing bikes, but I tell you what, he has got some dress sense. The man's got shirts like you've never seen it before.
I have actually seen you on a night out before as well. It's got something to beat you, actually. So.
Not for a while, you haven't.
So, the result of the 2nd race here at Brands Hatch says victory for Jimmy Webb by half a second over Peter Ward. Alex Gold in 3rd ahead of Torquil Patterson, Rob McNeely, Alex Hutchinson, Mike Neves, Gaza Byrne, Jonathan Harrison and the veteran Scotsman Gordon Grigger. James Hurrell, a guest rider, just ahead of Wainwright, Boner, Moore, Cowie, who didn't see the finish. Neither did Crompton or Adam Griffin. So going into the final round of the series, that is Jimmy Webb, who's got that advantage just ahead of Peter Ward. The former championship leader, Dion Compton, is in 3rd ahead of Torquil Patterson, Rob McNeely, Alex Gold, Gary Byrne, Gordon Grigger, Jonathan Harrison and Doug Cowie. Hutchinson, Tillotson, Hardwick, Boner, Moore, Griffin and Hurrell round out the point scorers. Well, Jimmy Webb angled it down off of pole position in towards Paddock Hill Bend, as behind them jostling for position. Dion Compton was well placed. Rob McNeely got a reasonable start there as they filtered through Paddock Bend. Compton hit the front as they went in towards Druids, but ran wide, and that handed the initiative to James Webb. Peter Ward relegated Webb down to 3rd position early on as the battle behind raged between half a dozen riders, 3 abreast as they went down in towards the fastest corner on the track into Hawthorne Bend. And Peter Ward it was that came out just ahead of them. Jimmy Webb had a look on the inside as they went in towards Paddock Hill Bend, but at the front it was Compton and Ward just making a little bit of an escape. And then we saw Compton have a problem with the right-hand side of the handlebar as he tried to adjust something that was to prove terminal, as it turned out. Jimmy Webb challenged Peter Ward as they went in towards Paddock Hill Bend just to grab the lead, as the 2 leaders started to pull clear, and Crompton's frustration as he was beating the front of that bike as he retired, and with it perhaps his championship aspirations. Peter Ward just grabbed the initiative of James Webb, but this was the decisive mood of James Webb as he took the lead from Peter Ward with a couple of laps to go, and he came across the line to take victory for the 4th time this season, ahead of Peter Ward with Alex Gold in 3rd position and Torquil Patterson taking 4th.
And we are here with our 3rd place finisher, Alex Gold. Well, right from the back of the grid, as far back as you can get, and you still find the podium. Sum that up for us.
Yeah, well, for free practice this morning, we knew who had the pace to be running somewhere, hopefully in the top 5, or even getting a podium like we did. But it was just try to cut through the pack as quickly and as safely as possible, actually. But I'm happy with third. Third's a good result for us.
Excellent. We can't send you to the podium because you're on the podium, but very well done on your 3rd place.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Cheers.
There we go. Let's move across then to speak to our 2nd place finisher, Pete Ward. Well, they call you pesky, but they'll be calling you that in the championship chase now, Pete. Another good result for you.
So we needed a strong weekend. We got 2 podiums, so happy for all the boys from Stratstone, and we had a great race with James there. We had a ball, just unfortunate that I couldn't at least have a go on the last lap. I think we got a bit of a problem with the bike, but fair play to James, man. He rode hard, I rode hard, and he came out on top. You know, he's a better man this weekend, and hopefully at the next one we can give him a bit more of a run.
Certainly pays to keep it upright and keep the points safe. Very well done.
Thank you.
And now our race winner, well, James Webb, that's your 4th win of the year. What do you make of it? It was pretty good towards the end.
Yeah, it was a good race. We had to have a strong weekend this weekend after the unfortunate crash at Alton Park, and come in this weekend, won both races, and feeling good, back fit again after my crash at the start of the year, and just couldn't be about all my sponsors, Squeaky Clean Services and Shark Helmets, the usual. My younger brother Danny and family here supporting me this weekend, home race, so couldn't have asked for a better weekend really.
Fantastic, and on that note, we'll let you start the celebration, but very well done.
Thank you very much, Tony, cheers.
There we go then, that's James Webb now on for the podium, and Larry will take us through it.
Well, after a cracking race for the Harley Davidson XR1200, and with it the victory and the championship lead for that number 66 machine of James Webb, local rider at his local track, and he then takes maximum advantage with that superb victory over Peter Ward and Alex Gold. Well, Alex Gold in the black leathers on the right hand side of the podium. That's the blue and white clad figure of Peter Ward as well, and the race victor for the 4th time in the Harley Davidson XR1200 challenge, and he gets the victory. So it is Mr. Stuart Ring from Volvo Trucks that will make the presentation. First and foremost to Alex Gold from the back row of the grid. Peter Ward, his championship still not over with 2nd position, but Jimmy Webb takes that championship lead into Cadwell Park for the final 2 races of the season. Peter Ward lets loose with the champagne. He gives Alex Gold an eyeful, and Jimmy Webb, he'll be happy enough with that one as well, with that 4th victory of the season. Takes a drink of champagne, why not? He's deserved that one. A cracking race from the Harley Davidson XR1200s. So well done to the top 3, and they've got battle to resume again at Cadwell Park in 3 weekends' time, when they go for the final 2 rounds of the Harley Davidson XR1200s.
Well, there we go then. That was our last live race of the day. But as ever, we have a couple more things to do before we can wrap up the show. And the Mammoth Show, it has been for you, what, 7.5, 8 hours, something like that, and all brilliant action throughout. But there is still one award to hand out, and that is James Whittam's Rider of the Day. So, Whit, over to you.
Cheers, Tony. The Rider of the Day, really difficult today, because what I did, I actually chose my Rider of the Day based on the Superbike races before that fantastic Super Sport race. So I've ended up with not 1, not 2, but 3 Riders of the Day. The first one was to a man who has done the same job as what he can do most weekends, iffy conditions, chose the right tire, moaned a little bit, had a bit of a doom and gloom thing with me on the grid before the first race, and then went out and almost won it. And my rider for the Superbike class is Michael Rutter.
Thank you.
No moaning now, and don't drink that all at once.
Thanks.
Have fun with that.
Give me a cry.
You sell that. And the next, these 2 lads. We've got Ben Wilson and we've got Alistair Seeley. You could not want for a better race than what these lads put on for us in the delayed and the really delayed and then they put on Super Sport race. It was mega. I wasn't commentating on it. I wish I was. It was a fantastic race. Had me on the edge of the seat, and I tell you what, you deserve this, boys. Well done. It was fantastic. Fantastic. Tony, all yours, mate.
Well, there we go, and fantastically well-deserved awards for everybody there. That Super Sport race was probably the ride of the decade, ride of the century, call it what you will, but it was absolutely astonishing. Well, Jack Bernicle has made his way out of the commentary booth, I'm delighted to say, to join us, and James Whittam has stepped over all of 10 feet to come over. But, James, let's talk about that Super Sport race of the day, and Jack, because that last race out there was utterly phenomenal.
Well, I've got to tell you, I've lost any grip on reality that I ever had. I've been here all day and I'm losing it, I've got to tell you. And I've got a long drive home. Now, I've got to say, some fantastic racing, some incidents, some hold-ups. Thankfully, I think everybody's pretty much got away with it, but this was the moment of the weekend for me. That battle between Seeley and Ben Wilson, you couldn't have wanted for any better. They both wanted it, they elbowed each other, they ran into each other, they looked like they hate each other, but actually they're the best of friends and they got the ultimate amount of respect for each other.
Jack, your thoughts?
Well, just to say, I said to Alice, look at this moment here. He actually
elbows him
going past him.
Get out of my way.
I said, well, man, you'd messed up Paddock Hill a bit, so he had the run on you. He had the right to try and go through there. But this move round the outside at Westfield, how good was that?
Yeah, and having the confidence in the other rider that you're going round the outside of that he isn't going to do anything silly, run into you, put you both down. That's respect.
And then this cross of lines here, James. Look at this. Seeley just goes for the inside line. Wallop.
Yeah.
Gets it and holds it to the line.
Yeah.
I said to Alistair, we're going to have you actually laughing and excited one day when you get off this motorcycle. I don't know what it's going to take for it to happen, but it'll happen one day.
I think the boy was laughing there, I've got to say.
He said he found it very, very emotional. It was a pretty
good
hard
ride,
to take.
and that's, to me, that's what motorcycle racing is all about.
It is, and it's kept the championship open. And a big thanks to Ben Wilson for not riding for the title and giving us races like that every weekend.
He's not going to do that, is he?
No,
we know
never,
him too well.
never.
No, absolutely. And of course, we now go to Cadwell Park for the next round. Ben Wilson's backyard, he wants to go out there and do well, but Alistair Seeley, after that race, will just be thinking, well, anything you can do, I can match.
Yeah, the fact is, the championship, although still a healthy lead, you would think to Ben Wilson, the momentum a little bit is shifting towards Alistair Seeley, like you boys were saying in commentary. But I've got to say, Ben Wilson is not going to give up. He's never going to ride for a championship. He needs to go and win, and he knows that. And the best thing is, he's still a little bit niggled, even after a race like that he hasn't won.
And also, can we credit the younger of the Hill brothers, Jimmy, because he actually rode at their pace.
So
he made a
disappointed for the
mistake and
lads.
went
So
down,
disappointed.
but he proved that it is conceivable that someone can run at their pace and possibly even split them.
Yep.
But all in all, a fantastic day's racing, we're agreed.
Oh, well, just couldn't have been better. Wonderful.
Johnny, would you drive my van home if I go to sleep in the back, please?
You look like you need to sleep, Jim, so I'll do that. I'll do that for you. But thanks very much,
you can
guys.
fit my car in the back of your van.
Jack, we're going to wrap it there. Thanks very much for everything you've done today. Thanks very much.
Cheers,
Also, don't worry, though, if you want a bit more motorcycle action, because there is plenty still on its way. If you want to see any of the highlights from tonight, if you just didn't get enough today, then you can see that tonight at 8 o'clock. That's on British Eurosport 1, the highlights of round 8 of the British Superbikes from Brands Hatch. And the championship continues with Cadwell Park. That's round 9 of the MC British Superbikes. And we are live on British Eurosport 2 across the weekend of the 28th and the 29th of August. MotoGP fans, be ready for round 11 of the championship from Brunei. Free practice on Friday, qualifying on Saturday, all around midday. And the races start next Sunday at 9:15 on British Eurosport 1. But that is it from Brands Hatch. We came here for a great day's racing, and boy, didn't we get that. We'll see you next time. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.
It's like old times.